Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news show. And it is still weekly, despite the fact that I have an announcement about the movie news show in a minute. But we talk about TV news, and we talk about pilots, we talk about renewals, cancellations, maybe some casting here or there, shows in development, all that kind of stuff, and we do that every week. We are a little bit late this week. Normally we record this on a Friday, sometimes a Saturday. It is late Sunday night, it is late St. Patrick's Day. Me and Connor just recorded two other long things, and Connor was gradually getting drunker throughout those two things. And the funny thing is, at the start of the night, I said, he said to me, he's like, oh, we'll see how it is after we've done these two things. Maybe, because we thought we may have to skip a week in TV news. And Connor said, no, we'll see how I'm doing at the end of this. And he got so drunk in the last recording that I thought there was no chance in hell. And at the end, he said, before we finished, to the audience, it'll be in the recording that people see on Patreon, he says, we'll do TV news after this.
I am pliable when I'm drunk. We've been over this. This is how you got me to agree to Elsewhere in the multiverse.
That's true.
Just I'm drunk and I go, yeah, go on then.
Because he said, it's a light week anyway, isn't it? And I'm like, not really, but here we are. So, so here we are.
That is definitely not what you told me 20 seconds ago.
Yeah. So first things first. Yeah, I mentioned an announcement. I'll do that first. It's not a big deal. It's not a big thing. But our movie news show 121 movie news is officially going to move to a every other week schedule. It's not going to be every week. And the reason for that is twofold. As Connor opens more booze.
It's not more booze. It's the same bottle.
He's opening to pour more booze. It's the same difference. Look. So 121 movie news is going to be every other week, and the two reasons for this: one is that we do feel that not every week actually gives us a reasonable amount of interesting things to talk about. It feels hard. I feel like when I'm making the movie news up, I'm scraping the barrel a little bit more than I am the TV. TV is very consistent, and more on top of that, it's also very consistent in terms of like time periods where this like few months out of the year is really busy, and then it quietens down a little bit. So I'd say it's quieter right now, but then when the upfronts come in a couple of months or a month's time, it's going to get really busy again. So
yep.
TV is predictable, movies is not, and
about 6 weeks, and then we're in hectic mode for this one.
Yeah, so movies has less consistent news, and then on top of that, the couple of slots of recording that it frees up allows us to be more consistent in some other things. That said, I say that right before we have like 4 Netflix shows and 2 Amazon shows all launching within like 2 weeks of each other. So
which just screws us over entirely.
Yeah, the consistency is going to go out the window because we're going to be like trying to keep up with all those shows.
We apologize in advance ish.
For delays of any kind. But we want to get that out of the way. So just so you know, movie news is not this week. There will be one next week, presumably. Of course, there's still delays based on scheduling. And if we do end up...
there should be one next week.
There should be one next week. We do our best. And then, if not, then there'll just be the week after that. It's fine. So, here we are. TV news. With all that said, let's dive in. So... First up, American Gods, which just came back for Season 2. We are not covering Season 2, we're not reviewing it, because... I was just about to say, because I don't want to.
Oh, God, look at that.
So I was not going to sugarcoat
it. Usually you find a way to blame me even if it's your fault.
I mean, Car didn't put up a fight, to be fair, people, so...
It did.
It's still really his fault. But... So, American Gods is returning for Season 3, that's the news. It's also getting a new showrunner. Again.
Another one?
Yeah. Is this his 4th showrunner? It might be.
No. It's 3rd.
3rd, okay.
I think Fuller did all of Season 1, right?
Did he? I thought he left like before it finished.
Oh, I don't know then.
I think he did. Because I'm pretty sure we joked that he kept leaving shows before they aired.
Oh, that's true. Maybe this is his 4th then.
Yeah. So Charles Egley is going to be the showrunner on Season 3. So yeah. So that's the thing. So if you like American Gods, you get more of it. So happy news.
I'm actually a little bit surprised by this news, given that we heard all the production problems that it had and budget problems that they were having.
I think Stars is just being stubborn and wants to prove that this is not a failure. That's what it feels like to me.
I'm genuinely surprised by this one though, because and I like Season 1 more than you do.
Much more than I do.
Pretty good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. But there were so many production issues over Season 2 and budget issues and stars were having problems, and I really thought this was dead after season 2, which is why I haven't even started watching season 2 yet. Because I was like, there's no more. I'll watch it later.
Next up, the Flash showrunners changing again. Todd, I say again, it's not changed that much, but Todd Helbing is stepping down, and Eric Wallace has been promoted to helm the 6th season. Helbing was the showrunner for the last 2 seasons, which are notably the 2 worst seasons by quite a margin. So that's potentially good news.
as I said on whatever show we discussed this on last, Television the Multiverse can't be any worse.
Yep, can't be worse. So it could be potentially good news. Next up, Taika Waititi is going to direct and co-write the pilot for the Time Bandits TV show that the Apple are doing, not Amazon, Apple.
Oh man,
I know.
Apple. I got significantly less excited when you said Apple.
We knew this was coming from Apple. This was always a thing at Apple.
Do you think I remember?
So this follows the time-traveling adventures of an 11-year-old boy, history buff named Kevin, who one night stumbles on 6 dwarves who emerge from his closet. They're probably sex fiends, let's be honest. They are former workers of the Supreme Being who have stolen the map that charts all the holes in space-time fabric, using it to hop from one historical era to the next in order to steal riches. So they're just troublemakers. I said they were troublemakers. Throughout the movie, they meet various historical and fictional characters, including Napoleon Bonaparte and Robin Hood, with the Supreme Being simultaneously trying to catch up to them to retrieve the map.
Okay.
I've never seen the movie that Terry Gilliam did. So maybe this might offend fans of the movie because it's probably better than it, but it sounds a little Bill and Ted to me.
You definitely just made at least 6 people turn off. I say 6. I'm being generous. There's not that many fans. It's Time Bandits after all. Yes, there's a cat.
I'm shutting the door.
Unprofessional to let awful animals ruin a good conversation.
There's nothing good about this.
Just argue.
Next up, back to DC show. Titans have found an actor for Deathstroke. Isaiah Morales is going to portray Deathstroke. Slade Wilson, we know him and his kids from the comics are showing up in the next season of Titans. So there you go.
Cool. Slade
Wilson is known for being DC's deadliest assassin who, while serving his country, Slade became an elite soldier before government testing enhanced his physiology to near superhuman levels, putting him on a path of darkness and revenge. This next part, I remember reading this now, it feels off to me. I don't think it's because the version of the show is going to be wrong. I think just whoever wrote this didn't understand the character. To his family, Slade is a father and a husband, but to the rest of the world, he is feared by many as the infamous Deathstroke. Yeah, because Adelaide and Grant and Joseph and Hope all look at Deathstroke and think, he's just our father.
You say that. I don't trust this show.
That's true. Yeah, but this show makes things darker. That they're going to make Deathstroke's family be a happy, sitcom environment.
Yeah, so that they can be horrified.
So they can be what?
They can be horrified when they realise the reality.
You just stopped dead in the middle of that sentence.
I didn't. I said they can be horrified. I said that. I don't know why I didn't get picked up, but I said that. My lips moved. People can see that. I mean, video people can.
Check the tape. Check the tape. So that's Deathstroke and Titans. Next up, Evan Evagora has been cast as a series regular alongside Patrick Stewart in the upcoming Picard show. Not that I know who this is, they're keeping the role under wraps. I just wanted to bring up that they're casting other roles for this. It's moving forward. It's happening. Wheels are in motion.
It exists.
Yes, so more Star Trek shows are coming. That's cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we got some casting for the Nancy Drew pilot. It's coming from the CW. The father character, Carson Drew, will be played by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Who I like a lot.
Do you?
Yeah, what's not to like?
I mean, he is married to Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was on the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I was trying to get through it before that.
I'm not going to lie, this is a pilot casting announcement, most of which I ignore. I only put this one in because of the Easy Buffy connection.
I knew you did. No, I like him a lot. He's a. Yeah, I'm gonna.
What
be
do you like
spacey.
him in? What do you like him in?
Okay, all right. You asked for this. You literally asked for this.
Oh God.
Star Wars Rebels. He is.
Oh,
fantastic.
voice acting shit. No, don't start this.
No, you literally asked me what I liked him.
No offense to any voice actors. What I'm saying is Freddie Prinze Jr. is not a voice actor. He's a bad live action actor. There's a difference.
No, he is a fantastic voice actor as Kanan.
Oh.
He is a great character, great acting. Screw you. You asked for that. Brought it on yourself.
Do you know what? Next time we have a disagreement or we're betting on something. In fact, next time we're doing predictions for either the Oscars or something that one of us can win. I want your punishment to be that I get to name 3 Freddie Prinze Jr. movies you have to watch and then report back on. And it's going to be delightful. I'm going to make you watch Wing Commander.
Okay, this is fine, but in retaliation,
What did I have to watch?
an entire season of Rebels.
Whoa, that's longer than 3 movies now. Come on. That's not.
I mean, what, 3 movies, at least 90 minutes each. You know.
Yeah, 4.5 hours worth. That's your 4.5 to 5 hours. That's your.
All right, 20-minute episodes. How many is that? I'm too drunk.
How many episodes is there?
I don't know.
You left it a vital part. You said there's a 20-minute episode, so what's that? I'm like, you have to tell me how many episodes it is.
How many episodes do you get in 4.5 hours?
I mean, you get 3 per hour, really, right? So.
Yeah.
So you get, what, 3 times 12, 14, 15, something like that.
15 in the first season. Season of Rebels.
Balls. Well, we've not made this bet yet, so I mean, we'll see if there's anything the bet can revolve around.
You
but
actually made that worse for yourself.
It's not worse if you have to end up watching Freddie Prinze Jr. movies, and you're gonna come back and you're gonna be like, you know what, I was wrong. He's terrible.
Just don't put Scooby-Doo in it, please.
No, don't worry, I won't. I'll put Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. It'll be Scooby-Doo 2, Wing Commander.
I'm giving you actual good content, and you're giving me shite. This seems unfair.
I disagree. I don't know what the third will be. It's not She's All That, because She's All That's actually too good for this. I'll look for other Freddie Prinze Jr. movies.
Bad timing.
Okay.
She's All That is too good for this. That has never been said before.
It's got a Buffy cameo in it.
Oh.
Because if you didn't know this, She's All That was shooting at the same school that Sunnydale High's shot at, so they had a little together cameo. I believe it was right before the pube pizza scene. Anyway.
I'm good. Carry on.
You good? Alright, next up, Netflix. Oh, this is the anime block.
Oh, I'm perking up.
Netflix has ordered 8 episodes of the original anime series called Gods and Heroes. It's set in the world of Greek mythology and featuring Jason O'Mara, Mamie Gummer, and Chris. Oh God, look at this name. Diamantopoulos, among others.
I'm into this.
Diamantopoulos, his voice says. The series, there's a poster for this. There's no trailer in it, but there's a poster for it. From Charlie and Vlas Parla Panades, chronicles the illegitimate son of Zeus, a young man tasked with saving heaven and earth despite the interference of a vengeful goddess and her monstrous forces.
So, I know they say this is a original story.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sounds a lot like Clash of the Titans.
I mean...
But I'm okay with that, because, yes, please. I like Jason O'Mara.
Nothing about that sounded like my thing.
He's the Batman in a lot of the animated movies for the last handful.
But they got more anime though.
Yeah, cool.
This is more Netflix anime. That one was from its own, that one was from its own article. This next batch were all together. So we have Dragon's Dogma, yes, based in the video game. It will follow a man's journey seeking revenge on a dragon who stole his heart. That ended differently than I thought it was, because I thought it was going to be a dragon who killed, someone. But no, it was a dragon who stole his heart.
Capcom making a push into anime Netflix.
Next up, Spriggan, or Spriggan, maybe? An original...
Two Gs?
Two Gs, yeah.
Spriggan. It's
Spriggan.
a mythical creature, I believe.
Is it?
What
There you go.
Spriggan is, yeah.
You know better than I do. It's an original series based on a classic manga tale from Hiroshi Takashige. It is illustrated by Ryoji Minagawa. There you go.
That's actually unusual, because I think most anime, in my experience at least, is a one-man show. It's artist and writer.
Is an edgy sci-fi battle action about a man with supernatural powers to seal historical remains, and is produced by David Production. David Production? That's his name?
That's a horrible name.
Did he just become a producer because it's in the name? That's like Stephen Fry becoming a chef. All right. So, next up, Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045. It's a sequel to Ghost in the Shell SAC series, and is directed by Kenji Kamiyama and Shinji Anamaki. It is produced by Production IG Inc. So,
for anyone interested, I'm pretty sure SAC stands for Standalone Complex.
I've heard of that actually. So
yeah.
So
this suddenly has some awareness to you.
So Standalone Complex is quite old now, though, right? That's been around for a long time. I'm sure that's been something.
Sure, yeah, it's not a new thing.
So this is a sequel to some classic Ghost in the Shell stuff, then.
Yeah, as far as I can tell.
I liked the movie. So,
yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Next up, Vampire in the Garden from WIT Studio.
It's got a good name.
I was holding in a burp there, something fierce. So, Vampire in the Garden is an original series that follows two girls, Momo and Fine, from different backgrounds, who meet by chance. A story about an unlikely friendship between human and vampire that intertwines with the power of music. It actually says the power or music, but I'm assuming that's a typo.
I am too. It's hard to take it seriously because it said Momo, and I checked out because of the viral Momo thing. Which I assume you're familiar with.
Yeah, I've heard of the Momo thing.
And I'm just seeing the little chicken thing.
And then finally on this anime list we have Super Crooks, which is produced by Bones Inc. It's a story by Mark Millar and artist Lionel Yu. There you go, or Lionel Francis Yu, the creators of Kick-Ass and Wanted. It's a crime thriller meets supernatural drama, and it comes from Millarworld. So this is another Millarworld adaptation that's happening.
Makes sense.
So, but it's an anime, so that's interesting that one of them's becoming an anime.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there you go. But a lot of, and I remember they had like a big list of animes they announced like late last year as well. So they
had at some sort of Japanese conference.
Yeah,
they did a big list.
So a lot of things coming. And then the one comedy we have this week is Amazon Studios is given a pilot order to a half-hour comedic drama based on an Israeli format called On the Spectrum. From Jason Katims and his True Jack Productions. On the Spectrum is a coming-of-age comedic drama about three 20-something roommates on the autism spectrum, striving for the same things that we all desire: to get a job, keep a job, make friends, fall in love, and navigate in a world that eludes them. I like the to keep a job as to get a job to keep a job. Like back to that was a fun turn of phrase. This could get wildly insensitive, but it could also be very touching and funny if they do it in the right way. This requires a deft hand.
I will be surprised if they keep that title.
Yeah, I mean that's the original title, so they may change it for their version.
I mean, not that there's anything inherently wrong. It's a bold choice, and I feel like they'll go for something more neutral.
Do they take away the on and just call it the Spectrum?
Well, maybe that's immediately more palatable to an audience. I think
so. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so on to the hour-long stuff in development then. So maybe this is quicker than normal. I feel like we're 20 minutes in almost.
I told you, I said we'd get it done in 20 minutes. I was a bit optimistic, but come on.
We're more like halfway through. I mean, calm down.
Shut up.
Amy Adams and her manager Stacey O'Neill are launching a new production company that has secured a first look deal at HBO. Normally I don't talk about new production companies this is called Bond Group Entertainment, but it comes with a show. They've got a show already in development with this announcement. The first project to be developed under the deal with HBO is an adaptation of the Barbara Kingsolver novel. Her name's Kingsolver? Well, it's probably a pen name. I always say this. It's a pen name, but still, Kingsolver. It's called the Poisonwood Bible. The story follows Orlena Price, the wife of an evangelical missionary who takes her and their 4 daughters to the Belgian Congo in the midst of a colonial upheaval in 1959. Adams and O'Neill will executive produce, and Anna Epstein and the Kingsolver are set to executive produce as well. It was published in 1998, and it was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize in 1999. So, yeah, there's no word if Amy Adams will be in this, and she very likely might not be. Given that she's got her own production company, though, it wouldn't be surprising for her to pop up in some of these things that she's producing.
Yeah, I expect at least one of them eventually.
Maybe not this one though, but
didn't grab me.
Didn't grab me either. But this is such a HBO miniseries.
It is, isn't it?
This is a 68 episode miniseries from HBO. It just has that written all over it.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll end up being quite good. Maybe she'll pull in some of that talent from Sharp Objects or something. She's got contacts in now.
That's possible.
Alright, Netflix and Sean Levi's 21 Laps, who are behind Stranger Things and Arrival, have acquired the rights to Anthony Doerr's Pulitzer Prize winning bestseller All the Light We Cannot See is the name of it. It's a limited series on Netflix. All the Light We Cannot See tells the story of Maria Laurie, a blind French teenager, and Werner, a German soldier, whose paths collide in occupied France as both try to survive the devastation of World War II. A writer's not attached yet. Okay.
Doesn't sound like something for us.
It doesn't. But hey, so
yeah,
branching out once again, Netflix. Still on Netflix, they are acquiring more content, foreign language content. This is a Taiwanese horror drama they've picked up, called Green Door. I'm interested. Yeah, it's called Green Door. They're launching this. This is actually, what's today's date? They've already launched this actually. So this but when we were going to record this on Friday, this was like the day it launched. So
this is irrelevant.
It's not relevant. It's still worth telling people about because it's not like they advertise these things like for anyone.
You didn't tell us about to cover it.
Oh sure, yeah. We had a full plate though, and besides, we ended up not recording it on Friday. We got delayed a day, if you recall.
I recall no such thing.
This is the first night we've recorded since we could have covered this. Well, that's not true. We recorded stuff last night.
I was going to say, what the hell?
Fair. But that was all backlog stuff from like the 2 days we missed.
Semantics.
So anyway, so that's launched on March 16th in more than 190 countries. So it's not it's one they've bought from like it was made in Taiwan. It aired on a Taiwan TV station. It's been airing this since February weekly. It's adapted from Taiwanese authors Joseph Chen's novel of the same name and directed by Lingo Hish, known for the fantasy horror movie The Bird. Green Door tells the story of Sung Yen Wee, played by Jam Hezao, a troubled psychologist who returns from the US to set up his own practice in Taiwan, where mysterious patients and uncanny events shed light on his murky past. So,
it's very vague.
It's pretty vague. But it's there on Netflix for most people. If you're assuming I assume Taiwan excluded, it's there on Netflix for you probably.
Yeah, typically maybe some other areas of Asia as well, because Netflix is kind of sometimes like that.
Okay, so maybe everywhere outside of Asia.
Get local territories, yeah.
So that's the thing. Yeah, so I thought it was worth mentioning, informing people it existed, because Netflix don't do a good job of telling people about these foreign language shows.
They really don't.
Next up, Apple has given a formal series order to Min Jin Lee's Pachinko. And no, this has nothing to do with the things that Konami like to make these days. Pachinko. Yeah.
Did you say last up?
Sorry?
Did you say last up when you got to this story or next up?
Next up.
Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Were you hoping this is the last one?
I thought I heard last up. I'm still like semi-convinced you said that. And I was just going to give you shit about something or other, but...
You realise you could just wait till I'm done and see if I have another one.
I could have done, but it's too late now.
Pachenko chronicles the hopes and dreams of 4 generations of a Korean immigrant family. The story begins with a forbidden romance and crescendos into a sweeping saga that journeys between Korea, Japan, and America. The series will be told in 3 languages: Korean, Japanese, and English. Apple first announced the series was in development past August, and I remember that description actually.
I was about to ask, have we heard about this before? Because it feels super familiar.
This is the series order, so this is definitely happening now.
Yeah, that's fine.
So that's the thing. Oh, here's an interesting one actually. This next one.
Do you know why I asked that though?
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't realize Apple were doing pilot orders as opposed to just series pickups like most streaming services are. So I just assumed that if we'd heard about it before...
It's been a mix. They've had some pilots, they've had some series pickups. It's been a mix.
No, that's cool.
Variety, this just came from there. They've got sources that have claiming that AMC is in the early stages of developing a new show, set in the same universe as Orphan Black.
Are people asking for this?
Well, I don't think so, but Orphan Black went down. I watched the first season. I quite enjoyed it from what I watched. It's the sort of thing where, had we both been watching it, I'm sure we'd have started reviewing it when we started the channel. But,
I'm sure we would have. I've never seen any of it, but from what I know, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing we'd cover, but it was already 4 seasons in when we started reviewing things.
Yeah.
So. Sources stressed that this would not be a spin-off or a reboot of the original series, but rather a completely new story set in the same world, which is interesting to me. That they want to do a show set in that world, but not get the name recognition, and not call it Orphan Black something, or
they'll still call it that.
I mean, they might, but I think it's interesting where they've got an idea that they want to set it in that world, but they don't want to use those characters. They don't want to. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to me that this is an idea. But yeah, so this was actually AMC and BBC America, I think, or BBC America aired the first show. So it's interesting it's AMC now. Is it an AMC BBC co-production? Is it this? Is it that? We don't know. But yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm sure FX was involved in the original as well, but I can't remember in what capacity. But hey-ho. So Orphan Black might be getting... I mean, I'd still call it a spin-off. Just because it's not spinning out of an actual character, I'd still say it's a spin-off.
I would too.
Because it's set in the world, so... but there you go. Next up, Showtime has put an order for an 8-part limited series called Good Lord Bird from Blumhouse Television. And I don't think this is a horror thing from memory. The series is based on the award-winning novel The Good Lord Bird by James McBride. It will star Ethan Hawke, that's good, as a 19th century abolitionist, John Brown. Hawke is slated to co-write and executive produce the project alongside author-producer Mark Richard. With American crime story director Anthony Hemingway set to direct the whole show. So Good Lord Bird is told from the point of view of Onion, an enslaved teenager who becomes a member of Brown's motley family during the time of the Bleeding Kansas, eventually participating in the famous 1859 raid on the Army Depot at Harper's Ferry. Brown's raid failed to initiate the slave revolt as he intended, but was the instigating event that started the Civil War. And I am fairly certain that Timeless did an episode, but at least with some of these events being referenced.
I was thinking it sounded familiar.
Because the ferry, Harper's Ferry, that sounds familiar. And I think it was Timeless who did a Civil War episode, or a pre-Civil War episode.
It probably was.
It probably was. Joe, this is not necessarily something that screams at me as our sort of thing. However, I like Ethan Hawke, and it's getting that kind of one director's doing the whole thing treatment. This could be a quality thing. Potentially.
Could be. No guarantee, but could be.
If it treats this sort of thing right, it could be a very kind of hard-hitting, but uplifting in ways drama. Yeah. So I can see it being something. Which does take us on to the final story of the week. A series adaptation of the novel An Anonymous Girl is in the early stages of development at the USA Network. E1 has acquired the rights to the book prior to its publication in January. Written by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. The best-selling book follows Jessica Farris, who signs up for a psychology study conducted by the mysterious Dr. Shields. We talked about this when they got the rights to it, because I remember this. She thinks all she'll have to do is answer a few questions, collect her money, and leave. But as the questions grow more and more intense, the invasive and the sessions become outings where Jess is told what to wear and how to act. She begins to feel as though Dr. Shields may know what she's thinking and what she's hiding. So it's kind of this sort of thriller, mystery.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. I like the sound of it as a movie. TV show could work. I don't know if I trust USA Network to be the ones to do it, though.
Yeah, me too.
But they did do Mr. Robot, so
Every time they have a show, we say this. It's like, yeah, USA, but
assuming it's not busy, that's probably an episode 1 try.
Yeah,
unless the trailer's like abysmal or something.
Yeah, we'll wait for a trailer for sure, but probably.
Yeah. All right, there you go. That's the news.
Yeah,
I was actually quicker one. It's only half an hour. That is quicker than usual.
Like at the 20-minute mark, I went, yeah, see, and you went, oh, we're only halfway.
I thought it was like, in terms of page count, we were halfway, but those descriptions were a bit longer, so that takes up more.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Know better.
So it was a quicker episode of the news, but it means you did get a news this week because you almost didn't get one. It was just you're lucky Connor drunkenly said, "Oh, let's just do the news."
You're welcome.
Was the quality up to par though? That is the real question. Probably not.
I think the entertainment value was there.
This was a compromised episode of the TV news. Compromised.
It's still better than no episode.
Go on, have your 14th drink. That number. Joe, it's funny. If you happen to be a patron and you can watch the comic book monthly that's going up soon, and then watch the almost cancelled extra that's going up soon, and then watch this, you can actually see Connor get drunker throughout the night, because that's the 3 things we recorded tonight in order. Connor has been drunker throughout the night, starting with the multiverse monthly, into the almost cancelled extra, into this TV news.
Do you know what the worst part is? Still not as drunk as I usually am watching Arrow.
Well, no one said son of a bitch, and
Do you know what the worst part is? I said son of a bitch earlier and drank for myself. You obviously didn't notice, but at some point in this last 6-hour recording session, that can be seen.
Oh dear. Oh well. That's been the TV news though. As we mentioned, I think the OA is this coming Friday, if I recall correctly.
That sounds terrifyingly right.
I just checked the schedule, so I'm not giving you false information. Yep, it is. That's cool. So look out for that. I like to promote some other stuff that's not TV related as well. And obviously we're still working through Star Trek Discovery, but we have been reviewing Batman movies all month. Me and Connor. We have done the 2 Tim Burton films, the 2 Joel Schumacher films, and patrons have already got access to Batman Begins in the Dark Knight. So basically, those will obviously be going up over the next week for everyone else. So check out those if you like Batman movies, or you like Batman and have problems with the movies. You might enjoy our discussions of the first 4, especially if you don't like them. But check that out.
The Nolan movies are more praise,
of course. And if you listen to the audio feed, the Mail Fuzz Movies and TV News audio feed, check out the Mail Fuzz Movies podcast feed, because that's where you'll find those on there. That's where all the 121 in Flux, Gigawatts, and Overload episodes are located on the audio feeds. So go have a check of that. Of course, it's obviously not going to be the end of an episode without telling you to go check out patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, where you can support us for as little as $1 per month. You can get access to the almost cancelled extra that was mentioned. This upcoming episode, which should be up in the next day or two, is a sort of preview, much like we did 121 extra last month. You can get us sort of going through all the shows we were expecting to hit this year, stuff that's guaranteed with dates, and then some stuff that we're expecting is very likely to come this year. And we just sort of check our hype levels, give you a description of each one, and just sort of generally kind of... It's kind of like almost a recap of the news of the last 2 years, because it's a lot of the same shows that we've been talking about in the news, but... There's definitely some I didn't remember from the news. It's an interesting rundown though, because it's like, oh shit, all this coming this year, man, we're going to be busy later.
Yeah.
So you can check out that's in the $1 tier, almost cancelled extra, so you can get access to that. But there's higher tiers and there's other things you can find, and some stuff you get early.
And even if you're not like going to go over there and subscribe, whatever, there is a list of all the podcast feeds, etc. You know, all the useful information that it's collated easily in one little post for you, so everything you could want. Yeah,
top of the page, very useful. And so go have a look. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. And nothing else to tell you about. I don't think there is, at least not right now. I'm sure there'll be more next time. So keep in mind, movie news is now every other week. At least that's the target. Sometimes obviously delays happen anyway, but the target now is going to be every other week. We're intentionally skipping. I mean, we would have had to anyway, because we ended up being delayed because we almost didn't do a TV news. But This is officially...
We had actually already decided that.
Yeah, but we officially decided not to do a movie news this weekend, and we'll have one next weekend. So that is us. Thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?